My name is Jess Ricker. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm Vice President for Enrollment and Dean of Admissions and Financial Aid here at Skidmore. And it's been my honor and privilege this past year to be a part of the Skidmore community. And so really tonight is not about me, it's about these amazing students. So I'm really going to turn it right on over and ask them to introduce themselves. Name, class year, pronouns, major, hometown, what you do on campus, favorite food in the dining hall, a couple of things like that, just to get us going and to show how there's really no one Skidmore student. There are just so many different possibilities. So we're going to start with our students who have a little bit more time left at Skidmore, right? Who are earlier on in their careers. And Jocelyn, do you want to go first and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Jocelyn. I'm a freshman. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Houston, Texas. So let's see. I applied early decision to Skidmore. I was very confident in my decision. I don't know. I just really like the town. I mean, I'm like trying to give you guys like a little glimpse of like my views out here because I am on my window seat, and our window seats are so pretty. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Skidmore is just such a laid back college, such a laid back campus. Like sometimes when it's like night or like Saturdays, Sundays, like my friends and I just go downtown and we like walk to Domino's and stuff. Like it's just so fun to be able to walk to anywhere you want. Like cars, you hardly need them.
That's amazing. And thank you for showing us the window seats. They are, I mean, we're pretty known for those, right? So it's so great that you've got that view. Okay, next, and I think David's zooming in from Wyckoff Center on campus, and maybe later you can tell people what Wyckoff's all about. But do you want to introduce yourself, David?
Absolutely. My name is David Arzu. I am a freshman. I'm a business and dance major. I am also from Houston, Texas. I love going to Skidmore. I'm currently participating in a couple of the performing arts clubs here, and I really enjoy them. Some of the things that I do around campus include like any sort of the like cultural or social events that are happening. I love going into town, like Jocelyn said, and I especially love spending time with friends and going out and getting to eat all the different kinds of food that happen to be in Saratoga Springs, and I really, really enjoy it.
Fabulous. Okay, so two Texans, we're off to a great Southern start. Okay, let's kind of move up. And Milo, you've got another year under your belt beyond our first year. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Milo Fleimenbaum, he, him. I'm a sophomore. I see we have another Milo here. Very rare I see that. I'm from Westchester, New York. I'm a physics major, business minor. Outside of my academics, I'm a tour guide. I'm the Student Government Association Vice President for Student Life. I'm the co-president of Skidmore Hillel. I'm the treasurer of the Physics Club and also the DJ and Production Club. I also work in the physics department. Some things I do sort of on my free time and I love about the school is just enjoying the campus. We are a closed campus, and if you ever had the chance to be here, it's just beautiful to walk around. Like we have Northwoods, which is our own just hiking trails. And we have a lot of other amenities. I live in the apartments, the Northwoods apartments, and on like my quad I live on, there's a volleyball court, there's a fire pit. So that's really fun when it's nice out, or just being able to sit on Case Green, do some work, chill with friends. That's a lot of fun. Saratoga, love the town. From just the uniqueness of it, but also the amenities of like Wilton. It doesn't feel like we're in just some random upstate New York place. I feel like I'm near a city. It's enough. So yeah, I love it up here.
Fabulous. And I know we're going to probably get more questions about the dorms and the apartments later on. Okay. In the final year, the final home stretch, Rachel and Braden. Rachel, do you want to introduce yourself and go first?
Oh, don't remind me that it's my last semester. I don't
I know you're sad, right? You're not
No,
like counting down the days. You want to stay forever.
If anything is a testament to Skidmore, it's the fact that I went to my advisor's office and was crying about the fact that I didn't want to leave Skidmore. And she was like, you can always come back. And she's a Skidmore alum. So anyway, it's been so good. It's happy and sad. But Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a senior. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Greenwich, Connecticut, and I'm a psychology major and a Spanish and honors forum double minor. Outside of being one of the head tour guides for our Thoroughbred Ambassadors program, I'm also president of the Honors Forum, as well as co-manager of the Positive Psychology Lab, a writing center tutor, and a part of various clubs on campus, including Hillel and Best Buddies.
Fabulous. And then also thinking he may stay forever, Braden, do you want to introduce yourself? We'd love to have the students stay forever. We know you're destined for better and bigger things.
I wish. Good evening, everyone. My name is Braden Quinlan. I use he, him pronouns. I'm from Arlington, Massachusetts. I'm a biology major with minors in chemistry, statistics in our honors forum. I'm also pre-med here at Skidmore. When I'm not doing my academics, I'm also one of the head ambassadors for our admissions office. I take drum lessons. I do research for the biology department. I went abroad last spring to Copenhagen, Denmark, and I'm a peer health educator, which is a group of roughly 50 or so students on campus that promote healthy lifestyles.
Fabulous. So you can see we have a range. We got strong representation of Texas, which I'm excited about. But these students all have different experiences. And so we're going to go through again, and I'm going to ask folks to talk a little bit about how you ended up selecting Skidmore. Although Jocelyn, you kind of went right into that before. So I'm going to flip it a little bit for you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your exploration this fall, classes, or what you think you might want to major in, and a couple of things like that. And then if there's anything else you want to add about, what made you decide that Skidmore was a place you could be thousands of miles away from Texas, and that it would be a place you would find home?
Yeah, so when I was first looking, I knew that I wanted to come to a small campus just because I came from a small school, and I felt like I learned better when I had a very personal connection with my professors, and I was able to reach out for help knowing that my professor actually knew me and could memorize my face. So when I came to Skidmore during the fall, it felt almost like I was in my normal high school classroom, just because I knew my professors on a one-to-one level, and it was good whenever I did need help. When I came in, I wanted to be, or I still want to be. I'm pursuing an international affairs degree, but with that degree, you have to have a concentration in something. So I was very I didn't know what exactly that was going to entail for me. So when I came to Skidmore, I took lots of different classes. Because this is a liberal arts, you're able to explore so many different majors and so many different topics within a major. It just gave me so much liberty, and it was so amazing. So during the fall, I took some poli-sci, and then in the spring, I'm taking economics. So my schedule really does vary. It actually varies a lot. I'm taking a dance class too. You just get to take so much stuff, and it's just so great. I don't know, I love it. I love having the freedom to be able to pick everything and not be committed to one single major or one single subject for the next 4 years.
Yeah. So many more choices and options, right? Usually high school is a pretty prescribed, series of courses and curricula, and so much freedom. So, okay, well, let's see. David, do you want to go next and talk a little bit about, since we're on the Texas to New York trajectory, tell me about your different path to Skidmore.
I also applied ED1 to Skidmore, actually. I was so convinced about where I wanted to be because, number one, I just love the idea of a small campus. I love the Northwoods. I love seeing nature around me as I walk around. It was one of the things that really shook me when I went touring here, and I was just like, oh my God, to feel the breath of nature here was amazing and fantastic. Another thing that really got me also was the amount of choices. I've taken so many different classes. I've taken Chinese, I've taken dance classes, theater classes, economics classes, and I had so much fun doing all of those different things. And I sort of wanted a place where I could have a smaller community because my high school was the exact opposite. It was ginormous, and I felt like I had such an impersonal experience with my professors and the people that I wanted to get to know. And so I thought the best thing for me would have a smaller campus with a smaller community that I get to learn and grow with as I grew up. And so far, that's been a wonderful experience. I think another big factor for me was also the idea of getting to travel a little bit more. In Texas, it's very difficult to get around without a car. And so far here, I haven't had much of a problem. Taking the bus is very, very simple. All Skidmore students have free bus fare from Case Center to anywhere in town, which is so, so helpful. And that was also another big factor for me.
Absolutely. And actually, it is a walkable distance, but when you're a college student, there's just not enough time to walk. So the bus, yes. Milo, do you want to talk a little bit about how you landed here at Skidmore?
Yeah, so I definitely knew I wanted a smaller liberal arts school in doable driving distance in New York. And I also knew I wanted a academic rigorous school, but not such like a competitive academic campus where like everyone's super stressed out all the time. But there is a still high academic standard. So I looked at a range of liberal arts schools and I came to Skidmore and I just felt this sense of community. I wrote my like senior paper thing that you have to submit for colleges on community. And I was looking for that community. And when I stepped onto Skidmore, I just felt that everyone was connected, but everyone was super friendly. Like no matter who you go up to, like or walk by, there's always a smile or just someone's like not intimidating or anything like that. Holding the door, things like that. And that just instantly snapped for me. I wanted to choose Skidmore. Other things just they really made the process of entering Skidmore and choosing Skidmore very like comforting. Like, yes, you don't need to choose all these major decisions, like your majors, all these different life choices. They have a system set up to help you really ease into it, find your people, find your passions, make sure that if you're struggling, they're going to help you reconnect and find that love for some part of an academics. I definitely found that with physics. I didn't want to go into physics, but just after meeting people, meeting the department, meeting the professors, I was like, this is a great community. I want to do business as well. Yeah, just everything around about that location, people, community was the perfect fit. And yeah, I did also ED1 to Skidmore because of those decisions.
Okay, so we're talking to a lot of folks, right, who kind of knew instantaneously. We're hoping this will inspire the students who, haven't quite had that love at first college search moment experience. So, Braden, do you want to go next and talk a little bit about how you landed at Skidmore?
Yeah, so I applied regular decision. And to be honest, the only reason I applied in the first place is because my teacher for biology and anatomy in high school, so I had her for 2 years. She was a 2006 graduate, and she was like, you'd really fit in there. And I said to her, is there an application fee? And excuse me, are there supplemental essays? And she said no. And I said, great, I'll add it onto the list. And then as I actually learned more about Skidmore, I learned how much community plays a role. Like my other panelists said, so high school is a stressful place. Specifically in some high schools, I see a few heads shaking from my panelists. I did not want to continue for the following 4 years. In some colleges, that's how it is. In some it isn't. And not saying that Skidmore, eliminates all stress and it's like this fun, relaxed environment. It can be that at time, but by the nature of college, there's going to be some stress around finals week and midterms and some assignments that the college can't just get rid of, but does the best to try to mitigate. And that's through professor-student relations and academic support on campus and peer relationships, and I can go on and on. And I really saw that through my application process, or I should say decision process, when talking to professors and talking with current students and such. And I knew that Skidmore was right for me, and it's held that for the past 4 years.
Okay, and Rachel, do you want to round us out, and then we'll work
Sure.
our way over towards the questions in the Q&A.
Yes. I also applied early to sorry, I'm just gonna put my AirPods in. Can you guys hear me? Yes, okay, great. So sorry. One sec.
And this would be college life when you're never quite alone all the time and there's always someone bopping by in the Zoom.
Oh my God, I'm
Right.
so sorry. I'm actually watching my dogs this week and they are being really loud. Sophie, stop. Sorry. So I chose Skidmore. Sorry. Oh my God. I chose Skidmore for a lot of different reasons. When I first came to Skidmore, sorry, they're talking. I loved it. Like from the minute I got here, I think you really get an energy when you get to a school. And I know I always say this on my tours, and I know it sounds super cliche, but I felt like I could be there and I could see myself being a part of the community that everyone has mentioned. I saw myself connecting with the students. When I got here, people who I had never met before asked me like, oh, what's your name? Where are you visiting from? And I also applied ED1, I should mention that. And I love that I could be a part of multiple things outside of my academic experience, whether that was different clubs, organizations, being able to attend sports games while also being able to attend artistic events, whether that be dance, music, art. And I was able to explore a lot of different areas of academics. I came in kind of knowing that I wanted to go into psychology, but again, everyone goes in undecided. You don't need to declare your major until the second semester of your sophomore year. And again, the town of Saratoga Springs is incredible. And being a part of such a vibrant community outside of campus too, makes you feel like kind of what Milo mentioned, that you're in a warm and welcoming and lively place. So you can have a life in Saratoga Springs, not just Skidmore. Yeah, sorry about the dogs.
That's okay. Toby, is that your dog's name? Is that what I heard you say?
Sorry, Sophie and Sunny.
Sophie.
I'll get Sophie to do a feature because she's small, so I can lift her up. But
See, this is real life via Zoom. So I mean, so Rachel was starting to talk a little bit about Saratoga Springs, and there is some real interest about, how students spend their time. What do you do on the weekend or, outside of classes? And, so this is where I'm going to like, not, Socratic method. I'm not going to call on you, right? I just come off of mute and talk a little bit more about, sort of the culture, what you see different, kinds of students doing and what you choose to do yourself, right?
I guess I can start. First off, during the school week, just stuff to do after classes. I'm involved in a lot of leadership roles extracurricularly, so SGA, student government. I spend a lot of time working with committees, working with different administration to get student projects working and done. I can go into that more if people want later. Besides that, there are over 100 clubs on our campus. We don't have Greek life, so it's really up to these organizations that are student-led to fill in that gap of student life, but also offerings for our community. So during the week, they'll have craft sessions with there's an arts club. Some cultural clubs will do a cooking event or a movie watching thing. On the weekends, additionally, clubs will do larger events such as mixers, performances, either dance or vocal. Additionally, larger events like bowling, hiking, stuff like that from our clubs. On campus too, again, we don't have Greek life, but sort of a nightlife scene is just really hang out with your friends, either chilling in your dorm room, using the spa, if that's our late night option, to go just hang out there, grab a snack, meet people, or if you are of age, go downtown and enjoy that amenities of our community of Saratoga. During the weekends too, during the days, the Adirondacks are amazing. Like I was saying before, if you want to go on a hike, if you want to go to Lake George, that's 30 minutes away. If you want to go to Albany, that's 30 minutes away. I went to the Adirondack Hot Air Balloon Show in the fall. I woke up at 4 in the morning with my roommate and drove over there and saw it. That was a lot of fun. I also went to a Sasquatch festival. So there's a lot of things to do. If you have a car, or if your friend has a car to do it, or just using the bus or local things, or using a club to get you to a place is a lot of fun. There's always something to do at your speed, at your community. So yeah.
What about our Texans who are from a little further away? I know, David, you were talking a little bit about how, you've been able to get around, but, I mean, we won't talk about the 4-letter word that starts with S and ends with OW, but what do you all think of the upstate New York area if you're coming from further away?
Yeah, I love it so much. Specifically in my free time, I do, like Milo was saying, I do participate a lot in the dance clubs here. We have so many different, we have cultural dance clubs, we have technique dance clubs, we have non-audition dance clubs. They're all so different in so many different ways, and they participate in so many different events and make sure that people have an entertaining time. Specifically on the weather, recently it's been so amazing. I've had such a good time being in warm weather, and like getting to see how like luscious the like trees look. I wish I could show you right now. I'm where I am in Wyckoff. There's like all of the trees. You can see the Tang, and then you can see like the small like area of like cafe tables that we have over here. They're gorgeous. They're really beautiful. What else do I do to spend my time? Oh, speaking of, there are so many like again, like Milo was saying, there's so many different events going on specifically for students of color. We have so many different like readings. We have meetings about all different kinds of topics. We have movie nights, dance nights, parties, all different kinds of things that sort of like encapsulate those like cultural experiences, and trying to find people who are similar to you culturally, and like kind of having that sort of like background to like hold on to, even though you're so far from home, has been so impactful for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then Jocelyn, you both came off off mute at the same time. So what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, my friends and I, we we really like going to Walmart. Like, I don't know, it's just so fun to just go to Walmart. Like, I don't know, something about it. Also, because like the bus is free and it leaves you right there. But yeah, there's so much stuff to do. I know one day, like they have flyers everywhere on campus. You just have to look for them. They had like a piñata making thing, one of our cultural clubs. So I went to that with some friends. We have a street food festival tomorrow. Like, oh my god, it's gonna be so good. I also like into town. A lot of people go to Uncommon Grounds, which is a coffee shop, just to sit there and chat with people. On Saturdays, what I do is I went into Wilton one day, and have you guys ever seen a mall that has a bunny sanctuary in it? I don't think so. So, they have like a little QR code where you're able to volunteer. So on Saturdays, I do that, and that's also amazing because I also feel like I'm part of the Saratoga community, and it's just so much fun to be able to feed and pet bunnies like for 4 hours straight. Like, it's amazing.
I see some bunny envy happening in the panelists as you talk about this.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, see, Braden, I can tell that's going to be your next activity. So, there's some questions, what are the freshman dorms like? So, if you all want to talk a little bit about, dorms, and then talk about the apartments and roommate selection and, how the RAs might help you get involved, just share some more there.
I just want to clear. Oh, sorry. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that we don't have first year residence halls. You might be living next to a sophomore or a junior. So it's not restricted in terms of class year. We really want you to get to know other members of the Skidmore community right off the bat. So we do not have the first year residence halls. Sorry. Well, Jocelyn and you and David you guys are actually living in the residence hall still. So turn it over to you guys.
Yeah, so my suite mate is actually a sophomore, or like both my suite mates are sophomores. So for the most part, usually when you're a freshman, you will be assigned a triple. Which may sound like a bad thing, but it's actually not that bad. Like, it's not too cramped or anything. Some people do get assigned doubles. I live in Johnson Tower, call it Johto for short. It's one of our specialty housings. So when you apply for housing, you do have the option to apply for specialty housing, and I live on the women's floor. Every dorm comes with the window seat, which is where I'm sitting right now, and it's great. We also have suite bathrooms, except for weeking. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about communal restrooms or like communal showers, floor showers. Like, you don't have to worry about that. I don't know. I just really like our dorms. Our dorms are really nice. Our RAs hold floor events, so that's also a time where you're able to meet with the people on your floor and talk and hang out with your RA. So, David?
I
Other
completely
perspectives
agree
on
with
housing.
Jocelyn.
Oh, go ahead, David.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say I'm in a double in Wilmar at the moment. I absolutely adore my roommate. You're not forced to be friends with your roommate at all. You're not forced to like engage with them in any way that's like particularly uncomfortable for you. But it's a great way to like start off a relationship with someone because you're both going through similar experiences and you're both starting off at the same common ground. And I think it was so impactful for me to be able to get that experience. My RAs are great. They're both wonderful people. They really started me off here really wonderfully. They told me different events that were going on, different ways I could get involved. And I think I saw a question here that was about like people that aren't so outgoing or confident or introverted. I just want to say that I have so many friends who are in similar boats, and we have a big group of us that are all um, very calm or like timid in some ways, and that's completely okay. There are so many different things for you to also do. We have like study sessions, just us quiet in the library at like 8 a.m 8 p.m. Oh my god, not 8 a.m. Oh my god, that's way too early. 10 p.m. we'll just be sitting and talking and having a good time without much going on, and that's also something that you can do. If you're not sure about what you're doing at a certain time, you can totally go on the track of just like getting through specific credits that you need to graduate for all college requirements, which we also have. You can start your way through getting those done until you figure out something that really hits you and fits your actual self.
Yep. Milo, do you want to talk about, and of course people want to hear about the apartments because those are definitely something we're known for. But Milo, what's going on in your mind?
Yeah, someone asked about how do you like roommates also? So it is randomized now. It was chosen, like you got to choose for my freshman year, but that didn't work out. Humans are humans. Interestingly, everyone who chose a roommate didn't end up liking them at the end, but everyone randomized, I randomized, and I ended up loving both of my roommates as friends, and it was great. But in SGA as student life, as the head of student life, I'm actually working with Res Life to fix our questionnaire for students coming in as freshmen. So it's really an in-depth questionnaire and they try to match you the best, and usually that works out. And again, you don't need to be good friends with your roommates, but you can be compatible or you can be friends. I've seen both work out very well. But the apartments, I'm very fortunate as a sophomore to be able to be living in the apartments my spring semester sophomore year. Usually it is reserved for juniors and seniors, just how lottery numbers work. But the apartments on campus consist of 3-person, 4-person, or 5-person. You live in a single, but you're sharing your space with 2 to 3 other people. You share a kitchen, a living room, and there are 2 bathrooms in them. They are on campus, so it's not like a massive walk back to campus. It's a 3-minute walk from my apartment to just where the academic buildings are. Not that bad. I love cooking, so being able to cook for myself when I can, but also our dining hall is great. Our food is delicious. I mean, they always are changing it, and there's many options. But again, if you're eating the same place over and over again, it sometimes does get repetitive. So it's really nice to be able to cook myself a meal. Yeah, apartment living's really fun. But dorm life is also, or residence hall life, sorry, is also really great. You get to meet new people, and yeah.
Braden or Rachel, anything to add? Or favorite thing to eat in the dining hall?
I've lived in 2 of the residence halls, and then I lived in an on-campus apartment last year for the fall semester, and then I was abroad, in Amsterdam last spring, and now this year I actually live off campus. So best of both worlds. Got to experience it all. And then my favorite thing, ooh, tricky. Um, the red roasted pepper soup from Spa is one of my personal favorites. And I also really like the gyros with the lamb and tzatziki, and yeah, that's from D Hall.
Anyone
That,
else have a favorite in the dining hall? Oh, go ahead, Braden.
yeah, I would say the housing's great. And what we do, I was an RA my sophomore year, and what we do as an RA kind of was spot on with what was described. In the dining hall, They don't make it anymore, which is really sad. They should really bring it back. But they used to make this like sweet potato chicken thing at Global. First year is the only time they made it, and it was amazing. Maybe it was too amazing. So
We'll talk to them about that, Braden. I mean, people talk a lot about the chocolate chip cookies and they are good, but I like the coconut macaroons myself. Okay, so there's some questions about classes. Let's shift into the academic realm, right? So some folks are curious a little bit more about, and Milo, you talked a little bit about being undecided, but how, what helped you solidify what you really wanted to study? Or, how difficult is it to get into classes you want, and what's the experience been like there? So we'll popcorn around with a couple responses on that.
I guess I can start too, because you said my name. But yeah, I thought I was going to be environmental sciences as a study or wanted a business, didn't really know. So I took a range of classes, my Scribner seminar, which is a freshman first year class that you take or you get to choose from a range from, was environmental sciences based, but then I just sort of found a love for physics and an interest in it. Every major has an intro class, and whole um, reasoning of an intro class is to see, do you love it or do you hate it? Is it for you? Is it not? So I took a physics intro class. I took some other intro classes. I took the business intro class, MB107, which is one of our best classes, I think, at Skidmore. Even if you're not a business major or minor, I always recommend you take it. It's super interesting. You learn a lot. You spend most of your semester preparing a presentation with 3 to 4 other students and a couple seniors. You're doing a strategy on a business. I had Lululemon, and then you present it to some alumni or actual real world executives in downtown in a hotel. Super fun. It's a little stressful, but you learn so much and it's so rewarding. But the physics department, I'll get back to that. I chose that because the professor's really nice. There was a small, tight community that was really working all together, from freshmen to seniors. PAC, which is peer recommended counseling. Most majors do have PAC. So for 2 hours most of the week, they run, it's a tutoring service where you can go for help. You can ask them questions on a homework. So for physics, it's more just a problem set, or if it's like English or another type, you can just ask for feedback and things like that. So I really enjoyed the PAC community, the classes, hanging out inside class and also outside, and helping start the physics club. That's been a lot of fun too. So yeah.
Yeah, who else wants to weigh in on classes? And go ahead, Rachel.
Sure. So academic, I've had a wonderful academic experience at Skidmore. Like I mentioned earlier, I've participated in a lot of classes outside of my major of psychology, and you're really encouraged to do that, especially through our requirements, even though they may look a little scary. I promise they're really easy to complete. And more often than not, you can double dip. So you could do one class that fulfills 2 requirements. And some of my, classes that I took for a requirement actually ended up surprising me and were some of my favorite classes that I took at Skidmore. For example, for my bridge experience class, I took a course called Human Rights and Development, and it's taught by a professor in the environmental sciences department. It was a subject area I was interested in, but didn't think I'd be able to pursue as a major or minor. Loved the class. I talk about it on all of my tours. And in terms of getting into the classes, I saw that as one of the questions, specifically for psychology. So our top 3 majors are business, English, and psychology. They all kind of teeter around the top 3. Business is our biggest, though. We had a huge influx of psychology majors, and upperclassmen students were having a harder time getting into some of the courses. And the psych department actually responded by hiring a whole slew of new psych professors in order to accommodate the need for students. So it's very rare that at a small liberal arts school, I know the chair of my department by name, and she's very friendly. You could just walk into her office door. And I think just a huge part of what makes the academic community at Skidmore so special is the relationships with those professors, obviously 8-to-1 student ratio. And all of our professors have open office hours. None of our courses are taught by TAs. There are some courses that have TAs, but they're more like a built-in help or assistant / tutor for the professor and the students. So being a name in my class and never ever a number has been something that has been invaluable to me. I mean, all of my professors start off the classes on Monday mornings going, "Oh, hi, Rachel. Like, I know you said your parents were visiting this weekend. What did you guys do? Did you have fun?" So they know you. They're a friend. They're not somebody who is unapproachable in any way. They just want to be there for you.
And I want to add into that also, because for freshman year, you're not kind of just picking your classes blindly. Like that's also something important. So they mentioned the Scrivener seminar. So you get to pick your Scrivener seminar. I think you're given like a choice, like you pick your top 5 or something. And usually your top choice you're gonna get just because of the size of the class. So over the summer, your advisor or the person that's teaching your Scrivener seminar will reach out to you, and you guys will have a one-on-one Zoom call where they'll ask you like what majors you're interested in, you know, questions like that to just like get the ball rolling. And then they'll kind of show you our student system. So like it's like it's a course registration, so it has all of our courses, and then from there are some courses that are not reserved, but they're a lot more catered towards first years, and you can also start checking off your requirements that way. So I also think that that's also really helpful, because I know like in May when I was about to graduate high school, I was like, okay, now I have to pick my classes, but like where do I go from here? Which classes should be like my base level? And then just meeting with the professor, like I was able to, you know, kind of go off like a schedule that will be a slightly easier transition. I know there was a question about homework load. You're gonna get homework. Yes, you are. But what I will say is that it's honestly very manageable. At least in my experience as a freshman, like you're not gonna be getting a ton of hours of homework. Like you're gonna have free time. Like it'll be like a Thursday night and you'll be able to like, oh yeah, like I want to go bowling today, or like Friday night and be like, yeah, I want to go like ice skate or something. So it's not bad, in my opinion.
Fabulous. Okay, so we're sort of popcorning around. Okay, so there, switch gears just a little bit. So, you know, someone's asking about the LGBTQ plus community on campus, but I'm going to expand that, right? To be, you know, expression of gender, you know, students who are from, you know, historically marginalized, you know, communities in any way, shape, or form, right? Including those who are from thousands of miles away, right? Where, you know, things in, I'm going to keep pointing at the Texans, right? You know, so what's it like, you know, to kind of come to a community of students from all over the world, right? The passports from all over the world, from, you know, all over the US, different ideas, different areas of study, and to kind of bring that broader lens to the to what's the community like, and are differences embraced? Sorry, I got really broad with that, but
yeah, another big part of why I chose Skidmore is because I've heard so much about it being such an inclusive community. I've definitely experienced that myself. I haven't had a lot of issues with people making assumptions based off of my gender or my race or my sexuality or anything like that. I think that was really important to me because I've gone through experiences in which I've felt some of those like instances where people can sort of have preconceptions in their mind, and that's completely okay. That's completely like their own thing, and I've grown to know that like not everyone thinks differently and everyone has different ways of thinking. But for me personally, I just wanted a community where I could feel safe regardless, and not have to worry about some of those preconceived notions. Specifically on the LGBTQ topic, I have felt so supported here. I've never been in a place where I can feel so myself and so happy at the same time. I think that was really important for me coming to Skidmore, because I was so scared of, oh my God, what if people think I'm like weird or there's something going on or like anything, et cetera, et cetera. But so far I've had a great time, and I've got to do so many things that previously were like, oh, you can't do that. That's not your type of thing. And I think I've grown to be larger than that, and that's important.
I love that answer, right? Because that's what allows you to really explore, get the most out of Skidmore, you know, really sort of thrive, in and out of the classroom. Anyone else have, anything else you want to add? Jocelyn?
Slightly to add on to that, I will say that Skidmore inclusivity definitely ranges across like everything. I mean, because I mentioned earlier that I live on the specialty floors, the floor above me, actually the 8th floor, is our prison floor. So that's actually for people in the LGBTQ community. If you want to live in a space where you share the experiences with other people, that is totally up to you, and that's totally welcomed here at Skidmore. And they're very accommodating for, just varying reasons. Like, I don't know, I mean, we have the quiet floor. If you hate loud people, if you just want a space where you can just be zen, we have 2 quiet floors. We have our multicultural floor, our international floor, where you want to meet with people with different backgrounds, the women's floor, the prison floor. Like, there's just so much like inclusivity going on. So like, there's no fear of feeling unsafe, I'll say.
And this is where I'm going to put my plug in as a higher ed professional, right? Study after study shows that everybody becomes stronger in their community membership as critical thinkers, as citizens of the world, right? And as scholars, right? When we are surrounded by people whose lived experiences and academic perspectives are different from their own, right? And it's that engagement and expression and the way that Skidmore supports it that I think is so special, and definitely was one of the reasons why I chose to join this community just about a year ago. So we've gotten a little vulnerable, which I really like, right? And that's something that students are really looking for. Okay, let's talk about making friends, right? And, how hard it is, right? Because, in the 20 plus years I've been doing this, I see so many first years at different colleges, they're looking for friends, and they look around and it looks like everybody has a best friend. I see head nodding, and you're like, I haven't quite found my people. Maybe I should transfer. I mean, the number of people who think about transferring at any college or university across the country is just crazy, right? And then somehow at the end of first year, you kind of figure out if this is like the place for you. So let's talk about making friends. Okay, who wants to be real first? Oh, I see hands. Okay, the seniors are going to go.
I can go. So there's a variety of different things. I'll be the first one to say that I was at the counseling center within 24 hours of arrival on Skidmore's campus. Probably the first year to be at the counseling center. Because I thought I was going to make no friends, because here I am, arrived in the middle of a pandemic. I didn't know if I should stay in my room like I was instructed to do so, or go find friends. Right. And that was a hard balance. I found friends, don't worry. But it got a little fuzzy there. As a peer health educator, we take a course, and my favorite thing I think I learned from that course is something known as convenience friends. Which is pretty much the idea that you're friends with people just because you're around them, right? So you may think that your suite mate is like the best person in the world, right? And that's because really that's who you know, right? When you first get to Skidmore, right? Same thing with the people in your Scribner seminar, or if you do one of our outdoor orientation programs or Prios, Scoop, and they may be, not saying you guys aren't meant to be best friends, but then as time evolves and you realize you actually find your correct people, right? That may be in a dance group, that may be through the Honors Forum President's Board, that may be in admissions, right? It may be for whatever. You will actually find the people that you click and mesh well with. And then, they serve a purpose. They're there. It's not to say like these people you never should have been convenience friends with, right? But you do need someone to kind of have some social life with. I know there was like a second part of this question about like party scenes and stuff like that. I don't know if you're trying to find a party scene. I don't know if you're trying to stay away from a party scene. Basically, any college or university is going to have something for the most part. And I was someone that was adamantly trying to stay away from it through the end of my junior year. And my friends didn't peer pressure me at all. They would go and I would stay back in my room and do something else with other friends on, say, a Friday or Saturday night if they wanted to go out, and that's totally fine. And then when I turned of age and I wanted to go downtown and stuff like that, I joined it, and that was fine. And Skidmore, as we've talked about, the community is good in that regards, right? You don't need to be pressured into it. It's not this huge like rah culture where every every night of the week we're going out. It's not that, if that's what you're looking for, but it's here and it's subtle if you want to engage in it as well.
And to build off of what Braden has already said, in terms of making friends, like it was a little different for us coming in to Skidmore, class of 2020 in high school. So I will like always remember that the first few days of when I got to Skidmore, we sat in these huge circles on the green because we were still like, can't be too close to each other. And I made some of my best friends through those huge circles. And I will say, like, that was just really lucky. And I have friends who are kind of finding their people, and putting yourself out there and introducing yourself can be really, really scary. But I will say, like, at Skidmore, people are just so generally friendly, like that you can go up to someone who's sitting by themselves somewhere and be like, oh, hi, like, my name is Rachel. Can I sit with you? And in my experience, people have always said yes. And I think something that I've learned, like, over my time at Skidmore and just growing and now a person who just turned 22, you have friends for different reasons. And I have friends who we like to go to yoga together in town, or I have a friend, Yoga Mandali, best place ever. Hard plug, yes, I love it. I was there this morning. But I have friends who, like, we like to go downtown to the tea and honey shop together. I have other friends who, like, we do almost everything together. But you're at Skidmore, so many people are involved in so many different things that it's very much unlike how I've heard some high schools have been, where you kind of like have the traditional quote unquote like stereotypical group. And I really don't think it's like that. I have friends who are on sports teams. I have friends in art, music, business, chemistry, like, you name it. People are involved in what they want to be involved in, and it's all about celebrating each other and what we do, and we cheer each other on that way. And just putting yourself out there is the best advice I can give, especially at a warm environment like Skidmore. You will always be met with kindness, I would hope.
I wanted to add to that too. I was fortunate to come here after the COVID stuff went away. I will start off by saying you will know every icebreaker humanly possible after your first week or so at Skidmore. Being on a smaller campus definitely allows you to go for the school to offer a lot of opportunities that students can go to find friends if they really want to, or you can go at your own pace as well. I will say, if anyone does choose to come to Skidmore, well, I can't speak, do Scoop. That is a outing pre-orientation program where you move in and then they're like, okay, say goodbye to your parents. Here's a bus. You're going to the Adirondacks for 2 nights with a bunch of people you don't really know. It sounds intimidating, but it was one of the best experiences of my life. And I have met my good friend that has introduced me to these other friends that I would never have probably met, and they are probably going to be my lifelong friends right now. You go into college being like, am I going to meet these lifelong friends that my parents always talk about of their college friends and things like that? I recommend go open-minded, try new things, and you will meet your people. I have my friends that I live with and friends that I socialize with that have such different interests. I think I answered your question. They're all business majors. They don't do anything SJ related or club related, but I'm very close with them. I have my physics and STEM friends that, again, they'll hang out with my friends here, but also primarily I'll hang out with physics. Also, my core group is my Hillel community that I'm very close with. I found a very core group there. There's really a range of opportunities. Additionally, with social life on the weekends, you will find your people, I will say, and you will find your pace and what you want to do, and there's usually something for everyone.
David or Jocelyn, anything to add there, or, some encouragement at the end of freshman year for what years 2, 3, and 4 look like?
Yeah, so a lot of people that I know, especially my roommates, they met their friends through Prio. Actually, one of my roommates met David through theater Prio, actually. And then David and I are from Houston, and we graduated from the same like college like readyship program, but we actually didn't meet till we were here at Skidmore through our discovery tour, which is something that Skidmore offered, and I think that was last week. So there's just so many chances to meet new people and different people. And sometimes you just have to yap. Like, you just have to start off just yapping. One of my closest friends, I actually met her. I do work study, so I work in D Hall. So I was working in D Hall. I was working in Emily's Garden, which is our vegan option. And like, she came up to me and then she started talking, and then you just got to give the same energy back, and then like automatically like you'll make friends. Like, everybody is so friendly here. I don't think I've met like one person who has not like given the same energy that you give to them, if that makes sense.
I love that. I love that approach. Dave, and I wanted to give all of you a chance, because this is a really critical question. I wanted to give you all a chance to offer insights if you wanted to.
No,
And then
yeah.
after this, we'll have one more question to wrap us up tonight.
Yeah. Like Jocelyn was saying, I've met so many different people through different programs, and I agree. But also, if you're a more timid person, I would totally suggest going to like club events. And if you don't feel like you have the sort of like outgoing personality, or feel like some of the way that you interact socially may not like come off as like a certain way, don't be nervous at all. I think one of the hardest things about being a new student is the idea of like, how am I supposed to make friends, or what am I supposed to be doing to make friends? And there are so many different options, and that can be overwhelming at times. So I would say take time to like really get to know yourself first, if you feel like that's something that's happening to you. And then once you have sort of like your interests and the things that you're interested in, and see where those things lie at Skidmore's campus, that's a wonderful place for you to start. And if those interests grow or expand, or those ideas happen to like be different things. We have Lively Lucy's at Falstaff's, which is one of our like main buildings where events happen. It's sort of like different bands and like DJs come together, and they sort of create music and give us a time to like really express ourselves. And I didn't know that would be something I was interested in until I had a conversation with one of the people that goes regularly. And I was very shy. I didn't really come off like as flamboyant or like high energy as I am right now, because it was a different setting, and I felt very like unsure about where that would lead me. And I took the opportunity, and I was invited, and I said, okay, I'll go. And now I feel like going every single week. I am gonna miss it tonight, because it's every Thursday, but because I'm here. But I'm so excited to be here with all of you. I hope sometime in the near future I'll get to see you in person.
Well, we're appreciative of your time. In fact, the time of all 5 of you. But I just really appreciate the really, mature, insightful, right? Things that you all just shared, right? About what it takes to be, vulnerable enough to find community and to put yourself out there, and how when you do, right, the effort is worth it, because you can really, be your authentic self. So, okay, we're going to end on a lighter note. This is the final question of the night. Okay, is everyone ready? And it can be brief, it can be short. Favorite thing about Skidmore? It could be the chicken finger Friday in the dining hall. Did I just take everybody's favorite? Or a favorite professor? Who wants to go first? No pressure.
Dance classes. I strongly recommend you take a dance class at Skidmore. If you haven't, I don't know if any of the panelists have or will, but I 100% suggest taking a dance class. Every single dance professor I have a very strong bond and relationship with. Even people who aren't dance majors completely trust these people, because they're so sweet and so kind, and they'll give you the time of day. Even if you're not studying in something that they're particularly interested in, they will give you 100% on trying to find solutions for you if you're having a problem. And I completely recommend taking one at some time. We have dance experience classes. We have classes in technique on tap, jazz, modern, ballet, diasporic dance. If you're interested in K-pop or hip hop or Afro-Caribbean dance, there are so many different options that we have here. I would 100% recommend it.
Fully support that, David. Fully support it. Jocelyn, you came off mute. Favorite thing about Skidmore?
Yeah, I mean, the dance classes are really fun. I'm actually taking Modern 1 right now, and it's super fun. I really love the professor. I will say, just going back to like, the kind of cliche answer, the community. I don't know. I just feel like it's just so great. I mean, we had the eclipse, and like just seeing everybody out on K screen, like it was just such a cute thing to just watch a bunch of people with their glasses just staring at the sun. There's just so much community here. Like 2 days ago, Ben and Jerry's had their free cone day, and you go there and it's like a bunch of Skid kids just in front of Ben and Jerry's just enjoying their ice cream. But also the community within Saratoga. The people who live in Saratoga, they're so kind, and they're always walking their dogs. So no matter where you go, you're going to see a dog, and they're just so kind about it. Like, you can pet them. Like, I don't know, it's amazing. Also on Fridays and Saturdays, I really love spa, and I really like our late night. Just because, like, the chances of a college having like their little restaurant open till like 1 a.m. in the morning to cater to these college kids is kind of rare. So just going to spa that late and then just seeing just everybody at spa playing pool table or like bumping into friends, like I feel like there's just so much stuff to see, and there's, I don't know, there's something so amusing about Skidmore. Like, it just, when everybody's like together, it's just like such like a happy thing. Like, you just can't help but be like, oh my god, like this is really cute. Like, I need to take a picture of this right now.
That's awesome. And by the way, in the chat, apparently it was David's birthday 2 days ago. Happy birthday, David. Okay. Milo, do you want to go next? Favorite thing about Skidmore?
Sure. I wish I could say Skidmore, but a little smaller. The themed dinners, very random, but D Hall will put on probably 2 or 3 times a semester a themed dinner where they choose a theme. Recently we had Friends, so they choose Friends, decorate our dining hall, come up with a whole menu of food, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of people. It's just really unique. It's like a nice break from your usual routine. One little other thing I love is being involved in our clubs and student government. I never thought I would see myself as a student leader, but I've been really able to find opportunities and work with our community and make impactful. You spoke about the pool table, so that was student government, free laundry, things like that has been really impactful for me to see happiness be shared and also get this cool opportunity to be a leader. It's really easy to get involved in student leadership here. So.
Free laundry. You said the words that should make everybody's enrollment decision. Okay. Rachel and Braden, last words of the night. Favorite thing about Skidmore?
Oh, it's so hard. I do love all the dogs. I'm sorry if you heard my dogs barking in the background. Again, they're choosing a really inopportune time to be talkative. But my favorite thing about Skidmore, oh my god, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but like the community of faculty and students, like that, it's just the best. And I talked to my friends at other schools who are like, what do you mean you dog sat for your professor last weekend and your professor is taking you guys all out to dinner to celebrate all the work you've done in the lab this year? And I was like, yeah, you don't. So it's just a very Skidmore thing of us. So just the community and the town of Saratoga, like just being in like a little mecca in upstate New York. It's just the best of both worlds. It's nature, it's things to do. So come to Skidmore.
Okay, we have 30 seconds left. Braden, putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I would say that my favorite thing about Skidmore, I said it in why I chose, and I'll say it in why I love Skidmore. It's the people. That being said, the dining hall, I'm gonna miss being able to just eat on this food when I want to. The location, I mean, you have the benefits of like a city like New York City, Boston, being in like Saratoga. Maybe not as extreme, but pretty close. And yeah, there's really, in my eyes, nothing my recently with the dinner.
Well,
Yeah.
and I know Jocelyn said, it may sound cheesy, but it's not, it's not cheesy if it's true, right? And you all talked about community, right, as being really important to the Skidmore experience. And I hope that came across tonight. And community matters so much to the 5 of them that they missed out on other things they could be doing on a Thursday night to share their experiences with you. So we're so thankful, right? Rachel, Milo, Braden, Jocelyn, and David, that you spent time with us tonight. And we're excited for these admitted students to make enrollment decisions, but we wish them the best. But thank you all for your time. And that is our webinar for the night. Hope you all have a really great evening. Thanks all.